make sure that that's why I wondered about it. Is a timeline appropriate or a time limit appropriate?
I would suggest 3 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, Blake, you're probably going to have to say the shorter part.
Okay. Anything else in here that you'd like us to prepare some language on?
No timer.
Okay.
Timer, please.
No timer.
Timer, please.
Well, what we'll do is we'll include it as an option, understanding that since you're not taking action in this meeting, it would be the part of the motion in the next when it's addressed for the council to give a full vote.
We'll decide it so she can't see it.
Okay. I think I've got notes here to help update it. Just so you know, the date and time of meetings is also in our actual ordinance as well. So we're going to be, both of them will come back to you for the amendment. Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, John. Meeting is open for public comments at this time.
From us?
Yes.
Do I need to go over there?
Yes. State your name, serial number, date of birth, blood type. Just kidding. How about just your name and address?
Excuse me, Julie Anderson, 940 East, 2600 North. Just had a couple of things I wanted to share with you. I don't even know if this is working, so I'm just going to talk really loud.
Oh,
It's not
This one on the table will pick you up. It picks up the whole room.
Okay. The first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was, and this is going back to Cherry Days. I kind of left it because I wanted it to be a quiet meeting, possibly. One thing that I've noticed on Cherry Days is the North Ogden Junior Posse has an activity every 3rd of July. And the only place that is advertised is in the Cherry booklet. It's never put on the flyer. It's never put in the newspaper. It's almost like, oh yeah, they're up there. And so it would be really nice because this event has been going on for at least 50 years as part of Cherry Days. And so it would be nice to be given the recognition. We have sometimes between 100 and 150 kids that show up. We are seeing more and more people from the city. They come and they sit on the hillside. But I've had several people this year that said we didn't even know that existed. So it would be nice if when you put the flyers that are on the doors that say, 5K run and all those kind of things, that you would have at least the North Ogden Junior Posse. We actually don't take any money for the city to run that. That is purely run by the posse. So it would be nice if we had that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is when you talk about your moment of silence, I think it would be really nice to start seeing more scout troops coming in and doing our Pledge of Allegiance. It's actually one of the requirements, I believe, for the merit badges, as long as they're doing merit badges right now. So I think it would be really nice to maybe let scout leaders know that if you have a scout that needs, I don't like timers either, because you get a little nervous. But I do know at one point, this podium actually had little lights on it. It had a red and a yellow light. And at 1 minute, the red light flashed, and at 30 seconds, the yellow light flashed. So at least you had an idea, because I think sometimes people just, their minds are going, and they start thinking, and they don't realize how much time has passed. 5 minutes is not a lot of time. And so when you get talking about it, so that might be something, maybe a podium or some way of letting people know. And Phil could have the timer, on his web show, can't see it, so I don't want to say.
I'll just hold up signs that say 30 seconds.
We could do that way too. That would most probably work. But I think it would help you guys if there is something at least that someone can visually see. Not a big clock on the wall, because all that does is just during the headlight look. So yeah. And I also wanted, as I listened to the form-based code, I do have some concerns about the form-based code. I would like, are we kind of gonna razz North Ogden, Washington Boulevards and start all over again? Because I don't quite see where, and I don't need an answer right now. Anybody just wants, one of the councilmen wants to answer that when they've got a free minute. Because I don't see where you can put this kind of stuff. My family lives in Meridian, Idaho, and I happen to have the opportunity to talk to the Meridian mayor. And they have one of these areas on Eagle Road. It's called the Village at Meridian, and it's a beautiful place. Oh, I love it. Originally, they were going to have apartments up above it, but in looking at it, they felt like it was too distracting for people to live below a shopping area where they have a skating pond in the winter. Just put businesses above it, so there's like businesses on the bottom, which are your main stores, and then more like your attorneys and stuff like that on top. But I just don't see, as I looked at the size of that, I just don't see where in North Ogden we could do this along Washington Boulevard, other than to basically go in, build, razz everything and just start from the beginning. We don't have a lot of big places to be able to do. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not in any way saying that's not, but it would be nice if we just continue to build. This actually would have been a great thing to do in the 1700 North development. I think it would have been made into a real one. Other than that, thank you very much.
You just want to remind us next June to put the junior posse on the.
Yes, I will. Oh, I've got it in my thing, but I just wanted to bring that up.
If we haven't been doing it, we need to be reminded.
Yeah. You are the-
Dale Anderson, 940 East, 2600 North. And I just kind of wanted to follow up on this form-based code. I started reading about it a while ago because at first I saw it and it's like, this is really mysterious stuff. And so I, 6 months or 12 months ago, I started reading on it. The thing that I see in that is we went on a trip a year and a half ago to Washington, D.C. We stayed in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and I think they've implemented something like this. It was really cool. It revitalized a rundown, blighted downtown area into something really beautiful. But the one thing that probably is going to be the greatest challenge is in those areas, what it appears to be, is that we slow the traffic down. Our objective isn't to get people through in a hurry, right? We've got a real problem because we've got 2 highways intersecting, 2700 and Washington Boulevard intersecting right in the middle of our city, which is probably the biggest challenge we have. Are people willing to slow down to 25 miles an hour on Washington Boulevard at 5:30 at night with the traffic the way it is already? That's the thing that we saw and we saw this in Europe a lot, in London and Bath and places like those, where you come into these areas and they slow you down, you get out of your car and you walk through these areas and shop. People live up above. That is probably the greatest challenge, is seeing how this thing really fits our community with the way it's laid out now. I'm not sure, we're rapidly losing the open areas to do that, and we may have to, where Country Boy Dairy is, I always thought, oh, it was a shame they tore that down. That could have been the anchor for one of these things, the beginning point of it, but it's gone now. And so that would be my comment on this form-based code is, are we going to put it where, well, the sod farm's gone, maybe it could have gone where Double Lot is, or maybe, Lyman Barker's field over here or something like that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's too late. It might be too late, I don't know. So that would just be my comment. Thanks.
Thanks for your comment.
Brenda Ashdown, 193 East Pleasant View Drive. One thing I noticed on your agenda tonight that I was asking about that I don't understand is why do you have a closed meeting in the middle of the city council meeting, so that if I want to stay and hear councilman comments, I have to go someplace for your closed meeting and then come back to hear the closing comments?
We can make a motion to move those up and then go into a closed meeting. so it doesn't have to be that
Well,
way.
part of the closed meeting is addressing the number 8, but
No, she's talking about number 9. Is that correct, Brenda?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
She's talking
the
about switch-
councilman comments.
Councilman,
council
mayor,
members'
staff comments?
Moving number 6, number 9 up for number 5 or something.
Yeah, after public comments.
okay.
Rather than doing the closed meeting kind of in the middle. That's just something I noticed on your agenda. And then I have a couple questions about changing your meetings. So council meetings would be on the 2nd and the 4th weeks. And then, so then the first and the third week's work meetings,
No, first is the work meeting as needed.
okay?
Third, there'll be no meeting.
Third will be no meeting. So how will I know, just as a basic citizen, that you're going to have that first week work meeting?
It'd just be on the city website.
And so, and you're gonna have it, what, you post it on the Friday before the
It's
Tuesday?
just like this one here tonight. It says on here, work meeting.
Right, but if I wanna make plans on Tuesday to either come here or not, I don't wanna have to look at it at 5 o'clock and see whether or not you're having a meeting. So it's on there by Friday?
Is it on there on Thursdays? Or-
It's actually there before close on Thursdays.
Okay, great.
We try to have it there, just depends.
And so would that be the same thing with an emergency council meeting then? It
No.
would be there by, so how am I gonna know about an emergency council meeting?
Just watch our website. That's how you.
And would they only be on Tuesdays?
No,
Okay, so if
We
you
don't
guys,
have-
if somebody calls an emergency meeting, then I need to be checking the website every day to see if there is one that night?
It takes 2 council members, is that correct?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
I understand that, but I'm not sure that I
Well, you can call
agree
it
with
according
that. I
to-
think that really limits, and I know I'm new to this, but I do find this interesting and intend to come as often as I can, and I think there needs to, unless you have an emergency of total sewer backup or something, I think there needs to be able to be some notice for
I think
an
we've only
emergency
had
council meeting.
one emergency meeting in the 4.5 years I've been on the council,
we've had probably 3.
maybe
Well-
3.
Like I said, I'm new to this.
But they're,
We've-
they're actual emergencies. It's not, well, we ran
It's not
out of,
some-
we ran out of things to talk about and we just want to have a meeting to talk about stuff.
Okay,
It's actual.
And-
Per hour notice.
okay.
There's two types. There's a special meeting, which is like a regular council meeting for a specific topic, and there's an emergency that is, we need a decision now because of this impending thing.
Right.
And so typically the special meetings, we know at the council meeting before the special meeting, we usually say, hey, we need to do this extra meeting. That's the way it's happened in the past. And then the emergency meetings, we post notice and put it out as best we can. But usually it's something so dramatic that it needs to be dealt with within 24 hours.
I think Blake brought up a good point too. I think haven't all of our emergency meetings been personnel issues?
Not emergency, you mean special?
Special meetings, yeah, they were closed meetings
Yes.
because of personnel issues, yeah.
So, and
Good point.
just so you know, Brenda, I was on the council from 2008 and 2012,
Mhm.
and we used to meet the second and fourth, and then just a work session. And then we actually increased it because there was getting so much activity, and so then we started having them every week. And so since I've been back on the council, we've been having them every week, and so.
That's my next question, actually, because you want to be done by 9, but what if you don't get to everything on the agenda? Does that just get pushed to the next meeting? And then isn't that going to drag some of these things? I mean, some things have been dragged out for a long time anyway. Is that going to drag some things out that much longer?
It can.
I mean, I totally understand that you don't want to be here until midnight. I get that, I do.
I'm good till 10.
But
Start our meetings at 5.
You're right.
well, what I'm wondering is you've got, right now you're doing the 4 weeks. You know, if you go down to just the 2 weeks, is that going to really kind of drag out things longer than they?
If we get into a situation like that, we'll hold a special meeting
Okay.
and take up the extra items.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Kayleen Jepson, 3168 North, 450 East. I have been coming to these meetings for over the past month about an in-home daycare. There was a question about like how much room for daycare, and in it for the city it says like 300 feet or 25% of the home. For the state, they require a 35 square feet per child, and for outside they require 40 feet or per child for the outside. And also with having a resident like myself watching the kids, and if I pull in more than 8 kids or 9 kids, go up to 12, it says that I would have to have somebody who lived in the home working with me. So that would be my husband, because my kids are way too little. And personally, I find that weird for my husband to come in and help me watch kids. I'm pretty sure other people wouldn't like it if their husbands watching their kids. You know, I find that kind of weird. So, and I wouldn't be getting like outside help. It could be a mom working or that needs work right up the road. Like I wouldn't be pulling in people from like South Ogden coming into North Ogden. And there are over 8 preschools in the area that can have 14 kids per class, and they can have about 2 to 3 classes a day. So you'd be getting more traffic with preschool than you would with a daycare. So, yeah, I think that's about it. And I just want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment. We'll relate that.
Sean Casey, 2444 Barker Parkway. As you're considering your policies, one thing I've noticed is, and I'm terrible with names, I really don't hate kids. She's an expert in the daycare, and she came, prepared. And a couple weeks ago we had the Skeens who lived through the flood that most of us that were here during the 90s helped clean up in Cameron Cove. And he also had a bunch of data. Those individuals that don't regularly come to these and do have data that would be valuable, I would encourage you to have some kind of a mechanism where you can, I know you can suspend the rules at any time, but where somebody's aware of that and ask for that data, because just asking for the data makes problems go away. And I should probably ask for Carl and Cheryl to turn around so I don't have to talk to their necks.
You like that ball spot.
Anyway, but I think we could diffuse a lot of problems by just having give and take. It's a problem, I understand, but when people do have profound insight to their particular thing, ask for it. And then I would like to see the Lowman View bathrooms taken care of. On your major projects, it's $250,000 roughly. Maybe add that. And then on Barker Park, I permission to address Blake directly, Mayor, if that's all right. Blake Severing a month ago asked, hey, I'd like to put together a special Barker Park committee or something, Friends of Barker Park, and I volunteered. I'm volunteering again. I can make myself available even for cleanup. I know Cheryl jogs that road quite a bit. Stay on the sidewalk. If you stay on the sidewalk, you'll run into trees. Literally, you will have a problem. And across that bridge that we have, I would love to take care of that bridge. I need to feel like the city likes me a little bit, and that's all. And I'll dig in. So, just letting you know I'm available.
Thank you very much. If there's no other comments, we could move to and do the mayor's comments. Does there need to be a motion to
just amend the agenda?
Amend the agenda, move the mayor's comments up, and then we'll have a closed meeting after? Is that okay?
I'll do that. Suggest we move item 9 up to this point, so you can have council and staff comments now.
Okay, thank you. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilman Severing, any comments?
Yeah, you know what, I
done a little bit of research. I'm still concerned about that price on those ERUs. John, I really would encourage that we get an appraisal on that property.
I think that's in process, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the plan, is to get an appraisal done.
And then just out of curiosity, I don't know if anybody's here that can answer this question, but I know that, what's his first name? Hill. He lives down across from, what's his name, Julie? He lives down on Fruitland. And he's mentioned a couple of times that area behind the amphitheater kind of being restored back to like kind of a trail area. I can't think of his name.
Can't think of it, I know who you're talking about.
Ken Hill.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it Ken?
I think so.
Is that area done?
No.
So we're still a little ways away from that, okay. That's what I thought, but I was just curious. I don't have anything else other than that, Mayor, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
just to clarify, the water line, I think, was installed on Friday, and then they're gonna finish the grading, and then it'll be done, that area right behind the amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's
that's,
not gonna be that way during the next couple of phases, it's just, we're just waiting to complete this phase to be able to get that.
yeah, completing the fire line and then regrading it, yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Councilman Turner?
I don't have anything yet.
Okay. Councilwoman Stoker?
Just a couple of questions. John, as far as the Loman View bathroom I think I heard Tiffany say something about that it's more of an Intel project than just tearing it down and redoing it. There's some really huge issues on that bathroom.
So the biggest issue that was identified by the engineer is that there needs to be the water line needs to be upgraded from the road, which actually is quite expensive to run, because we're going to be digging up, 600 or 800 feet of stuff to get a line in. And then as originally designed, the comment was it had been over-engineered. I think the engineer had put in 12-foot footings, which is more than is probably really needed. And so the comments was as we bid it out the next time, we'll probably do a design bid contract, thinking that a contractor can probably design something that qualifies for cheaper. But that water line is a pretty expensive portion of that, that cost. I mean, I want to say it was like 50 grand or something, but I'm totally guessing. I just remember it being really expensive.
I just knew it was something more than just not doing the bathroom. A lot of money.
That would have to go into next year's 2019 budget, right?
Yeah, so it was in, I want to say the 16-17 budget got nixed because it was just too expensive the way it had been designed. Then was asked to be put in the 17-18 budget and wasn't approved, and then wasn't asked for this year. So
I've already got it written down, Cheryl. So that would also, as long as Cheryl brought that up, we could include there's not money this year to look at the fountain at McGriff Park or Barker Park, is there?
there's not currently planned expenditures.
Okay.
They kind of, both of those, I think, surprised, they broke, after budget had been approved.
Budget. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then I was just wondering, it seems like in the past we've used our Miss North Ogden more at activities and functions. And how does that work? Who invites her, or who lets her know things are going on to come about, or does she know or not know, or?
They usually call the city and ask what they need to attend, and we give them that information.
I guess I just would like to see her out and about more than not.
She was at the Chalk Up lately, so that was her last appearance I saw.
I didn't see Rachel there.
She was
She was at the 5K.
she's thinking
Yeah, she was at 5K.
Abby.
So, and that's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Swanson?
Only one thing, I really like Sean Casey's idea of cleaning up that bridge and those trees.
I thought you were gonna say you really like Sean Casey, cause he.
I do like him.
I hate kids.
I don't like him because he hates kids, but no, I know there was a group this past weekend that did some cleanup behind the amphitheater. They just kind of got together and got it done. So with I would say on the Facebook pages that you have, I'd say just pick a date, get a group together, and just let's get it done.
So there's some pruning and.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I mean, I think there does need to be one representative from the city there.
City has an arborist.
So,
we probably have-
Yeah, on pruning, we'd probably just want to coordinate
Yeah.
which trees, and I think Jesse could walk the property and say, these, let's keep them all this height, and,
I
yeah.
thought about taking my clippers and cutting those ones in the sidewalk
Sure, but
by the bridge.
I know some of the pruning that was done
talking about
recently by city
Yeah.
staff was
Just those.
pretty crazy. Yeah, one of our parks, they kind of went overboard, but, yeah, I would say just put a group together, let me know, I'd love to be there.
And Sean, just so you know, my involvement in that was to spearhead a foundation for donations to get the park jump started, not for physical care. But I think what you're recommending is incredible, and I know you do a great job at that, so let me know as well.
yeah, so I just need a consent from the city or the arborist, or I do
Let's
need
get
somebody from.
Jesse?
Let's get Parks down there to,
He trims my trees, I've seen it.
Cannot be
I would
responsible.
have someone there to say no.
John,
You let me know anytime, and if I can make it down, I'll be down, happy to help.
Sure.
should we just reach out to Jesse and Tiffany?
Yeah, we'll have, I think we've got Casey's phone number, and we
Yeah.
can have Jesse reach out to him.
Jesse, reach
And I'll
out.
meet his schedule.
Okay,
anything else?
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any comments. Thanks for coming this evening. It's been great to have you here. And we appreciate your attendance, your input.
Anything from John or?
We'll move on to the next.
No
That was my
comments.
comments.
No comments from John or Annette. I usually ask them.
I know. I just took my turn first.
John's saying no.
Okay, Annette?
Just a reminder that next week is Utah League of Cities and Towns. We will be canceling council meeting next Tuesday.
Okay.
So, I'll put your stuff you need for your hotels and stuff in your mailboxes.
Okay, John?
I'm good.
Ron? Okay. No other staff here, so have a motion for adjourn?
Nope. I'd move that we adjourn this meeting and move into a closed meeting.
You're recessing,
Take a 5-minute recess.
recessing this meeting.
Yeah.
You're not adjourning this meeting, you're
Recess
recessing.
this meeting and move into a closed meeting regarding the character, professional competence, physical or mental health of an individual.
I second it.
It's been second.
Considering the operator's residence.
Councilman
The operator.
Yes.
But no.
Hang on a
Severing?
second, Blake tried to vote here.
Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
second.
Yes.
Councilman Swanson,
Yes.
Yes.
the motion? Councilman Swanson,
Yes.
motion passes.
How are you? We take a 5-minute recess?
We can.
Was there something else that I?
We will.
Yeah.